Ever grabbed a spiced rum thinking it'd taste like a Caribbean adventure, only to sip it and feel like you just mouthwashed with melted cinnamon candy? Happens more than we admit. Spiced rum is one of the most unpredictable bottles in American liquor aisles. Some brands taste magical with cola or ginger beer. Others, they belong in witness protection. Today we're ranking 15 spiced rum brands from worst to best, so you know exactly which ones deserve your glass and which ones deserve a quiet retirement. 15. Calico Jack. Calico Jack sits at the very bottom for one simple reason. It tastes more like candy syrup than actual rum. This bottle has lived many college lives, usually purchased in a plastic handle and poured into whatever mixer was within reach. It's harsh on the nose but oddly soft on flavor, with an avalanche of artificial vanilla and cinnamon that bulldozes any trace of real rum character. Its redeeming trait? It vanishes under cola, fruit juice, or anything sweet enough to overpower it. That's why it's a regular at tailgates and house parties. Nobody drinking it straight would willingly admit to doing so. It's functional, cheap, and loud enough to mask itself in a crowd. Calico Jack claims last place because it brings enthusiasm but no depth. If your goal is fun first, flavor later, it serves a purpose. But as a spiced rum, it's the floor of the ranking. 14. Admiral Nelson's has always felt like the thrift store version of a more famous pirate-themed rum. The label leans heavily into nautical theatrics, but inside the bottle, the experience is much simpler. Expect a wave of caramel sweetness, soft vanilla, and a cinnamon kick that fades faster than it arrives. There's little complexity, but at least it avoids the aggressively artificial taste its cheaper competitors suffer from. This is a go-to for budget parties, dorm rooms, and those moments when someone says, just grab something spiced. It works acceptably in a rum and coke, bringing enough sweetness to blend smoothly without overwhelming the drinker. Yet the body remains thin, and the spice feels pasted on rather than infused. It lands above Calico Jack solely for being more controlled and drinkable. Still, for anyone who wants a rum with personality, this one feels like a placeholder until something better shows up. 13. Bacardi Spiced Bacardi. Spiced marks the first bottle in this countdown that actually hints at real rum beneath the flavoring. It's gentle, approachable, and crafted for people who want to experiment with spiced rum without going full sugar rush. The aroma brings mild oak, a touch of vanilla, and subtle spice. Nothing aggressive, but noticeably cleaner than lower-ranked brands. Its biggest strength is mixability. In cola or ginger beer, it delivers just enough warmth to remind you you're drinking rum, yet stays easygoing and mellow. The downside, it can feel too safe. The sweetness softens quickly, and the finish disappears before anything memorable develops. Bacardi Spiced earns this spot because it's a smooth stepping stone for beginners. Reliable, predictable, and impossible to hate, yet equally hard to love. Think of it as the tutorial level of spiced rum. 12. Captain Morgan Original. Spiced Captain Morgan has defined spiced rum in the US for decades. Walk into any party, bar, or beach bonfire, and chances are a bottle of the Captain is either being poured or already empty. Its flavor leans sweet and familiar, soft vanilla, toffee-like notes, and a dusting of spice that plays well with cola. It's comforting, consistent, and built for easy drinking. Where it falls short is depth. The sweetness can overpower, leaving very little actual rum character. It's engineered for mass appeal, which makes it smooth and approachable, but undeniably limited. Captain Morgan's real power is nostalgia and branding. Taste-wise, it's pleasant but predictable. It ranks here because it's iconic yet outclassed by rums, with richer body and more thoughtful spice blends. Still, as an everyday mixer, Captain remains undefeated in convenience. 11. Sailor Jerry. Sailor Jerry cranks up the volume compared to the Captain. Higher proof, stronger spice, and way more punch. The first sip brings intense vanilla, warm cinnamon, and a bite that lets you know this rum isn't here to make friends. It's a favorite among bartenders who want their spiced rum to cut through ginger beer or cola without getting lost. This one is unapologetically loud, Fans love the heat and the tattoo-inspired attitude. Critics call it unrefined and overly sweet. Both sides have a point. Sailor Jerry isn't subtle. It's the rum equivalent of someone shouting their entrance into a room. Its ranking reflects this duality, packed with energy and flavor, but lacking the balance and finesse of top-tier spiced rums. For cocktails needing muscle, it shines. For delicate sipping, it's a bit of a brawl. If you're enjoying this breakdown, hit like and subscribe so YouTube knows this ranking wasn't just background noise. It helps the channel, and it helps us justify buying more bottles purely for research. 10. Bumbu. The original Bumbu is the first major jump in this countdown because it delivers something the lower-ranked bottles rarely attempt: personality. Pick up the bottle and you already know this isn't trying to blend in. Heavy glass, pirate-like branding, and a giant X across the front. Inside, the flavor leans even more theatrical. Expect banana sweetness, soft caramel, a swirl of vanilla, and gentle baking spices that drift in like warm island air. It's lush, sweet, and decadent, almost more like a tropical dessert than a traditional spiced rum. That sweetness is both its magic and its limitation. Mixing Bumbu with cola works beautifully, creating a banana sundae twist on a classic rum and coke. Pour it over ice and you get a smooth, dessert-like sip that feels indulgent. But drinkers looking for a firm rum backbone may find themselves wanting more structure beneath all that fruit and sugar. Bumbu lands at number 10 because it's undeniably enjoyable but leans heavily toward flavored rum territory. It's fun, memorable, and perfect for drinkers who want sweet over subtlety, but not quite refined enough to break into the top tier. 9. Kraken Black Spiced Kraken is instantly recognizable thanks to its inky black color and mythical sea beast branding. This one doesn't whisper its intentions. It storms onto the palate with bold molasses, richness, heavy vanilla, dark caramel, and a hint of coffee and chocolate. The texture is thicker than most spiced rums, which helps it stand tall in cocktails where lighter spirits vanish beneath mixers. Kraken's sweetness is substantial, but balanced by the darker flavors swirling underneath. It thrives in ginger beer, where the spice and molasses form a powerful duo. It also brings depth to tiki-inspired drinks, creating cocktails that feel fuller and more dramatic. Even in a simple rum and coke, Kraken introduces a richer, deeper profile rarely found at this price point. What holds it back is the intensity of that sweetness. It can dominate the glass, leaving subtle spices buried under syrupy weight. This makes it a fantastic statement mixer, but less ideal for sipping neat. Kraken earns its 9th place because it offers more complexity and power than the entry-level bottles while still being approachable, versatile, and boldly memorable. 8. Bayou Spiced Rum. Bayou Spiced brings something different to the category. American-made rum with Southern swagger. Distilled in Louisiana using local sugarcane, it captures a sense of region in a way many competitors can't. The aroma hints at vanilla and cinnamon, but once it hits the palate, you'll notice a gentle peppery warmth layered into the sweetness, a nod to Creole culinary traditions. This warming note doesn't overwhelm. Instead, it gives Bayou a distinctive edge, allowing it to stand out in cocktails where you want spice but not overpowering sweetness. In ginger beer, it delivers a lively kick. In tiki drinks, it cuts through citrus without drowning the other ingredients. Even on ice, it feels lively and well-structured, offering a more grounded experience than the sugary brands below. Bayou ranks 8th because it strikes an appealing balance, accessible yet character-driven. It's crafted with more intention than the mass-market labels, but still easy to enjoy for beginners exploring more flavorful rums. It proves that American distilleries can hold their own against Caribbean giants, especially when they lean into local identity. 7. Pusser's Gunpowder Proof. Spiced Pusser's Gunpowder. Proof Spiced is where the countdown turns toward deeper, more serious expressions. Modeled after British Navy-style rum, this bottle packs real horsepower at over 50% ABV. The higher strength allows its flavors to shine brightly. Dark molasses, warm cinnamon, cocoa, dried fruit, clove, and a lingering ginger warmth that slowly spreads across the palate. This isn't a rum you casually mix without noticing it. In a dark and stormy, It transforms the drink into something bold and commanding. In a punch or tiki cocktail, it stands firm among fruit juices and syrups, adding structure rather than becoming lost in the mix. Even with a large ice cube, Pusser's maintains complexity, softening into a layered, rewarding sip. Its place at number 7 reflects its intensity. Some drinkers adore the power, while others may find it too imposing for everyday use. But for those who appreciate stronger, richer rums with real history and craftsmanship behind them, this bottle earns its respect. It's a dramatic, flavorful upgrade from the mainstream offerings before it. 6. Greenbar Crusoe. Organic Spiced. Crusoe. Organic spiced rum is the curveball that surprises many rum drinkers. Made in Los Angeles with a focus on organic ingredients, it avoids artificial flavors entirely, resulting in a cleaner, more aromatic profile than nearly every rum ranked below it. Instead of syrupy sweetness, you get fragrant citrus peel, warm vanilla, soft baking spices, and a faint floral lift that sets it apart immediately. What makes Crusoe special is how naturally the flavors unfold. In highballs with soda water, its brightness shines through without becoming sticky. In citrus-heavy cocktails, the spices complement rather than compete. Even on its own, it shows balance and clarity, delivering a refreshing experience that feels mindful rather than indulgent. Its 6th place ranking reflects how well executed it is for a bottle that doesn't rely on heavy sweetness. Some rum fans may want more weight or richness, but Crusoe excels at offering a lighter, more modern interpretation of spiced rum. It proves that the category can be flavorful without being sugary, and that craftsmanship can come from unexpected places. 5. Boukman Botanical Rum. Boukman enters the top 5 by doing something no other bottle on this list even attempts, embracing an herbal, almost Amaro-like identity built on Haitian Clarin traditions. Instead of leaning into syrupy sweetness, Boukman uses fresh cane juice rum infused with barks, botanicals, and local spices. The first sip feels earthy and aromatic, with orange peel, vanilla bean, cinnamon, and subtle bitterness weaving together in a way that feels intentional rather than forced. What makes Boukman fascinating is how proudly it showcases its origin. It is not trying to mimic mainstream spiced rum flavors. It is channeling Haiti's terroir, culture, and craft. Sip it neat, and you'll notice layers developing slowly, shifting between warm spice and herbal depth. Add it to a cocktail and it transforms the drink, creating a more refined experience than typical spiced rum can produce. This bottle ranks 5th because it represents sophistication within a category often dominated by candy-like sweetness. Boukman isn't made for everyone. It's dry, complex, and assertive. But for rum fans looking for a grown-up evolution of spiced rum, this is the turning point. It proves that spice doesn't need sugar to shine. 4. Don Q Oak Barrel. Spiced Don Q Oak Barrel. Spiced marks the moment this countdown moves from fun mixers to rums that genuinely impress. Made in Puerto Rico from aged rum rested in American white oak, this bottle has a maturity missing from most competitors. The spice blend is thoughtful rather than loud, allowing cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, and warm vanilla to glide across a foundation of real oak-aged character. While many spiced rums mask the rum base, Don Q lets it lead. Their structure, a gentle dryness, and a depth of flavor that feels connected to proper barrel aging. In a rum and coke, Don Q elevates the drink from simple refreshment to something smoother and more layered. In cocktails that rely on nuance, such as a spiced old-fashioned or a winter punch, it offers sophistication without losing approachability. Don Q ranks 4th because it blends the accessibility of everyday rum with the elegance of something more premium. It's still affordable, still versatile, and still friendly to mainstream palates, but with enough complexity to earn praise from serious drinkers. This is the bottle where people start saying, "Oh, so spiced rum can actually taste like this." 3. Captain Morgan. Private Stock Captain. Morgan Private Stock is the dramatic glow-up of America's most famous spiced rum. Everything drinkers wish the original Captain delivered: richer texture, deeper rum character, and rounder spice notes, finally arrives here. The aroma is warm and inviting, with molasses, vanilla, subtle oak, and a gentle spice blend that feels polished rather than theatrical. It's noticeably smoother, thicker, and more cohesive than its mass-market sibling. Private Stock shines as a sipping rum, which is rare for something under the Captain Morgan umbrella. A single ice cube brings out caramel tones and soft baking spices, revealing a complexity that surprises longtime Captain fans. In cocktails, it performs with restraint. Instead of dominating the glass, it harmonizes, adding warmth without overpowering other ingredients. The reason it ranks third is simple. It delivers impressive flavor at a price almost anyone can afford. For many American drinkers, this is the first step into premium rum without intimidation or sticker shock. Private Stock bridges the gap between nostalgia and grown-up rum appreciation, showing what the brand is capable of when it prioritizes balance and richness over mass-market sweetness. 2. Chairman's Reserve Spiced. Chairman's Reserve Spiced is often described as the blueprint for how a spiced rum should taste. Crafted in St. Lucia, it starts with well-aged rum that already carries notes of tropical fruit, oak, and sweetness before any spices are added. Instead of relying on artificial flavoring, Chairman's incorporates cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, orange peel, and even a touch of local bois bandé, creating a profile that feels layered and dynamic. What makes Chairman's so impressive is the harmony between rum and spice. Nothing feels excessive. The sweetness is restrained, allowing citrus, warm spice, and gentle oak to shine without artificial sharpness. In cocktails, it's a dream, flexible enough for punch bowls, tiki drinks, and highballs, yet refined enough for spirit-forward recipes. Sipped neat, it reveals a long, satisfying finish that puts many mass-market rums to shame. It earns the number 2 spot because it successfully walks the line between accessible and elevated. Casual drinkers find it comforting and flavorful. Enthusiasts appreciate its craftsmanship and balance. Chairman's Reserve is the rum that makes people rethink the whole category and realize how good spiced rum can actually be. 1. Foursquare Spiced. Foursquare Spiced sits confidently at number 1 because it exemplifies everything spiced rum aspires to be. Authentic, refined, and built on real rum excellence. Produced in Barbados, this bottle avoids artificial sweeteners and synthetic spices entirely, choosing instead to highlight warm baking spices, citrus zest, vanilla, and subtle oak woven into a foundation of genuinely high-quality rum. The first sip is elegant and controlled. Unlike sugary competitors, Foursquare allows its base spirit to shine, letting the spice blend act as an accent rather than a mask. The finish is long and satisfying, with cinnamon and nutmeg trailing behind gentle sweetness and barrel warmth. It's flavorful without being heavy, aromatic without being perfumey, and complex without losing approachability. Where Foursquare truly dominates is versatility. It's exceptional on its own, brilliant in simple cocktails, and transformative in drinks that rely on layered spice. It rewards beginners and connoisseurs equally, offering clarity and craftsmanship rarely found in this category. Foursquare ranks first because it respects the drinker's palate. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just a beautifully made rum that reminds you why the Caribbean sets the standard for the world. Spiced rum covers everything from sugar-loaded party bottles to refined Caribbean masterpieces. Tell me which ranking you agree with, which one you'd fight me over, and which rum deserves its own deep dive. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. Cheers to better bottles.